On May 20, 2026, the National Security Agency published its first formal security advisory on the Model Context Protocol, 15 pages. The message was calm. The message was clear. MCP adoption has raced ahead of MCP security, and the gap is now measurable. So the NSA has read the room. 3 real vulnerabilities, one shared pattern behind all of them. Let me walk you through what the agency flagged and what your MCP server needs to survive. A very quick refresher on MCP. The Model Context Protocol is a standard layer that lets an LLM call external tools, read a file, query a database, hit an API, run a script. Claude uses it. ChatGPT uses it. Cursor uses it. By early 2026, over 10,000 MCP servers were live on public registries. Here's what the NSA flagged. MCP inverts standard client-server architecture. A regular API is client asks server. Server responds. MCP has the server pull data and execute commands on behalf of the client. The direction of trust is reversed. See, when trust flows one way and you audit for it, you know where to look. But when trust flows both ways and you assume it only flows one way, you audit half a system. Alright, vulnerability 1. Auth gaps. The NSA advisory calls this out on page 4. MCP does not define how a session maps to a verifiable identity. Authentication is optional, not required. Role-based access control is not part of the protocol. These are quotes, not paraphrase. So what does this actually look like? Trend Micro scanned the public internet in early 2026 and found 492 MCP servers with no authentication at all. Reachable from anywhere, no credential check, live. An audit by Asterisk Security across 5,200 MCP servers found that only 8.5% use Auth. 53% rely on static API keys or personal access tokens. 79% pass those keys through environment variables. Here's why that matters. When authentication is optional, an attacker who reaches the network gets the same access as the intended agent. The server cannot tell the difference between the LLM you configured and a script running under the same user. There is no identity binding. There is no scope. There is no audit trail tied back to who actually called what. So vulnerability 1, Auth is optional in the protocol. In real deploys, most servers ship without it. If your MCP server doesn't know who called it, you have no security model. Vulnerability 2. Server-side request forgery through dynamic discovery. The reference case is CVE 2026-45609, a real published high-severity CVE against Spring AI's MCP security framework. The vulnerable feature is dynamic client registration, DCR. When DCR is enabled, the framework accepts URLs from the MCP server it is trying to register with. Then it fetches those URLs without validation. Here's the chain. Attacker hosts a malicious MCP server. Victim client with DCR enabled tries to register itself. Client calls the MCP metadata discovery service with URLs the malicious server supplied. That service fetches URLs like http://169.254.169.254. The AWS instance metadata endpoint, which returns temporary IAM credentials, which go back to the attacker. Spring AI is a CVE tried example. It is not the only one. BlueRock Security analyzed over 7,000 MCP servers earlier this year. 36.7% were vulnerable to some form of SSRF. Their proof of concept ran against Microsoft's own market-down MCP server. Over 85,000 GitHub stars and pulled AWS IAM access keys, secret keys, and session tokens from an EC2 instance. Here's the pattern. MCP tools handle URLs constantly. For tool discovery, for auth flows, for redirects, for any request that spans systems. The MCP specification does not require SSRF filters. Each framework implements them or does not. Once they do not, and the URL comes from an untrusted MCP server, the client becomes an open proxy into your internal network. Alright, vulnerability 2. MCP client is a fetch machine. If it fetches URLs it did not validate from MCP servers you don't fully trust, you have an SSRF vector. Alright, now the third vulnerability. Unverified task handoff. The NSA advisory calls this out on page 5 as one of the more subtle risks. When one MCP tool invokes another, or when an agent passes context between tools, the receiving tool has no way to verify where the task came from. No origin check, no scope check, no intent check. The attack in production looks like this. Attacker plants malicious content in a document. Your agent reads the document. Legitimate task. The document contains hidden instructions that tell the agent to call another MCP tool. The second tool executes because the request came through a legitimate agent session. There is no trust boundary between the untrusted document content and the trusted tool call. The most measured version of this is documented in Anthropic's own official MCP SDKs. OX Security disclosed in April 2026 that the city transport used by every reference SDK like Python, TypeScript, Java, and Rust passes tool arguments directly to the host shell without sanitization. 200,000 instances estimated vulnerable across the supply chain. Anthropic confirmed the behavior was intentional and left mitigation to downstream developers. So the third vulnerability. If your agent can invoke a tool, and that tool cannot verify who sent the task or why, you have an unverified handoff, which means untrusted content ride a trusted agent all the way to a sensitive call. Alright, 3 vulnerabilities. Now the pattern behind all of them. MCP was designed for capability, not for trust boundaries. Optional authentication, unvalidated URL fetches, and unverified task propagation are not separate mistakes. They are the same architecture choice repeated at 3 different layers. The protocol treats every party as trusted by default. The security work is left to whoever ships the tool. This is not incompetence. MCP shipped for developer speed. Optional authentication meant faster prototypes. Dynamic tool discovery meant easier integration. Loose trust boundaries meant fewer boilerplate checks. Every one of those calls made MCP easier to adopt. And every one of them created a attack surface once the ecosystem grew past 10,000 servers. So developer speed and secure defaults are always at odds. When a protocol goes fast, the security discipline lags. That's NSA actual message. MCP is where the discipline has to catch up. Alright, so now what actually helps? The first fix, bind every MCP session to a verifiable entity. Not pair tokens, not shared API keys. Cryptographic Identity. A signed request envelope with a nonce and a timestamp. 2 emerging standards, MCPs and ATTP. Both proposed message level signing with ECDSA keys. Neither is a formal specification yet. Both are worth reading. The second fix. Validate every URL your MCP client fetches, not through prompt engineering, through actual code, at the framework layer. For Spring AI, provide your own MCP auth to client manager or a custom client HTTP request interceptor that filters URLs against an allow list. For any client, block outbound requests to RFC 1918 addresses. Block requests to the cloud metadata endpoints. Verify host names against a trusted list. And the third fix, treat every MCP tool execution as high risk. The NSA advisory itself says this. Isolate tool processes. Grant only the minimum access each tool needs to do its job. Log every invocation with the exact parameters, the identity that called it, and the result. Keep private data local. Don't send it through public MCP servers if you don't have to. Alright, 3 vulnerabilities: Auth gaps, SSRF rediscovery, unverified task handoff. All of them ride on the same call. MCP treats every party as trusted by default. The NSA doesn't want you to stop with MCP, and neither do I. The advisory wants you to know where the security boundaries actually live, and to enforce them yourself, because the protocol will not. Finally, if you find this tutorial helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring the notification bell. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.